So, kung meron po kayong experience with the armed rebels.
Meron ding armed rebels sa Nueva Ecija, marami. But doon sa San Isidro, meron, mga dumadaan lang sila. But they don't touch the government. Why? Because it's the basic services that being rolled out, pati sa mga pamilya nila. Because they are recipient, they are benefits of our program. So, ang ginagawa nila, they themselves protect the area. In fact, I don't have security. Pumunta ako sa bukid nang walang security. Si baby, wala din niya security. Ang ginagawa ng mga tao, sinusundan ako kahit na, even if I don't ask them to follow me, they will follow me to secure me. Wala akong security, I don't have security. Because the people will protect you if they get their need from you. Di ba? Sila mismo ang magpo-protect sa'yo.
Mayor Sonia mentioned former Mayor Baby Conco. Please stand, Mayor Baby. She's from the town, the next town, Cabiao, and you can hear her story this afternoon because she will be storing also about GK. Okay, yes, Ma'am Belinda Olivares Cunanan, Philippine Daily Inquirer.
Matanda na ako, 70 years old. So, I deserve to sit. I know. I'm sorry. I have a funny story about Sonia. I've known her for some time. One day, we were at a cocktail party. You remember that, Sonia? And Sonia was not dressed like that. She was not in a business outfit. She was rather very groovy. And ang ganda. So, I introduced her to the ambassador of South Africa, Peter Vermeulen. I said the mayor of San Lorenzo, a very multi-awarded mayor, etc. The ambassador stepped back and said, "You don't look like a mayor at all." I said, and then Sonia riposted, "Why? How does a mayor look? What does she look like? What does she have to look like?" Anyway, I think what Sonia is doing is, I was among the first to discover Sonia, by the way, put her on our DZRH program one day, long ago. And what she's doing is really the opposite of what most of our politicians are doing. I mean, the Ampatuans, of course, in a large scale, that's what they're doing, consolidating dynasties, no? I mean, Sonia is breaking it's like an atom. She's broken it into pieces, and there you are. It's generating all kinds of nuclei. But you mentioned, Sonia, about many municipal buildings or provincial buildings, theaters, gyms, waiting sheds even, bearing the names of all these politicians. Para bang as if they were the ones who spent the money for all this, you know. And it's terrible. And why do they do that? Because the entire term, of course there are really many exceptions now, but many still are in that traditional mold. They hold power, they dispense power, it comes to the top, we tell you what you need, we will construct for you all these things, but it has to bear our name because in between, walang ginagawa, you see. But whereas Sonia doesn't need posters because they know what she's up to, has been up to. So how can we now, you know, export the nuclei, the nucleus of San Isidro, as you said, everywhere around the country, small municipalities all the way up.
Well, one thing also what Ma'am Belinda does I know that you do feature interesting local government officials in your DZR. We need more media people also to tell these kinds of stories to our people, to give them hope and to precisely to spread information about good practices that exist, that actually exist. So that's one, of course, on the part of the media for all of us here, you know, to share these stories, for example. That's why we invited you here in the first place. Yes. So, how do we... well, as I've said, which is precisely the reason we invited Sonia Lorenzo here, because precisely we believe it is building capacity. And to build capacity, you will have to partner with many institutions. And that means forgetting for much of the time, for even political allegiances. You can work with anybody as long as yes, it's for the good of it bears fruit, the services are actually delivered, so you partner with everybody. So that's basically one of the part of the formula here. And then involve business also should be part of it, and institutions. Maybe if the political rivalry is too strong, then bring in an external institution that will be considered non-partisan just to initiate the partnership. But eventually, when trust is built, people with different political persuasions in the locale see that concrete results are produced through the partnership, then it can go on. In fact, eventually, the external institution can leave, it can sustain itself. In fact, the Ateneo doesn't intend to be there for, the whole time in Nueva Ecija. But we're glad that we were invited to partner with local government units in Nueva Ecija, and we're willing to partner with other local government units in the country to build capacity. Okay.
Good morning po. Ako po si Angelo Katakutan from ASMPH din po. Kasi nung binahagi niyo po yung mga kwento, yung mga success stories niyo po sa San Isidro, namanghalang po ako na yung unang story was about the barangay health workers. Parang kumbaga sa amin po kasi, sa school po namin, we were taught on how important the health is to the community. Parang sa amin kasi, since nag-aaral po kami bilang para maging doktor, nakikita po namin na natututunan namin yung importansyang yon. Pero sa inyo po na, kumbaga, non-physician, kumbaga, parang wala naman pong formal training in medicine po, ano po ba yung naging pananaw po nila? Kaya kung paano nyo po nakita na importante yung health, paano naging successful po sa San Isidro? Kasi parang baka pwede po natin kasing magamit to para at least ma-instill po sa future leaders na importante din ang health. Kasi kumbaga, ngayon po nagfo-focus po yung mga politicians in tangible things, like infrastructures, yun po, kabuhayan. Opo. So yun po, ano po ba yung naging pananaw po nila?
Noong una kasi, when I was in my the first term ko, nakita ko, unang-una, yung 80% of San Isidro are farmers and in the state of poverty. So that's one problem. Being sa corporate nga ako noon, ang schooling ko was corporation. Sabi ko, kunahin mo what is the majority of the people. Second, pag ako nasa opisina ko, ang mga mesa kahit abot sa gate, mahaba ang pila. And 80% of those coming to my office are health-related. So sabi ko, if you put two together, at doon ipra-priority ko ang aming program sa health at saka sa farmers, most likely, ma-address ko yung sa farmers. I did not know then what to do because I wasn't the doctor. Pero because I was forced to go because of those people coming to me na wala ka ng perang puro dole out. Sabi ko, hindi na to pwede. Kahit parang negosyo, magsara ka na lang kaysa sa ganun. You have to do something about it. That is when I started to integrate the social development program to the economic development program. Then we found out na hindi pala sila pwedeng hindi magkasama. They have to be twins. When you give livelihood to the farmers, they have to have health program. And again, yung susunod namin is education. So, ang nangyari nung ginawa namin to, tumaas lahat. But then, when we were doing that, mahirap lang ang San Isidro. We could not afford the total family assistance program. So, we decided health kasi nga marami problema. After that, when Father Beniebres asked me, sabi niya ganon, how can I help? I knew already that we need help in education because I do not know anything about education. Sa LSB lang namin puro basketball court, puro uniforme, yun lang alam ko nauubos sa mga kung saan-saan lang. So I said, Father, I don't understand anything about education. You've got to help me. And then Father said, yes,